Crittenden County Basketball would like to thank these fine sponsors: Mark Williams, Whitetail Properties, re-elect Bart Frazer, County Attorney, Farmers Bank and Trust, Nathan Ratley at Marion Recycling, Livingston Hospital, H&H Home and Hardware, Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance, First United Bank in Marion, elect Chad Nelson, Crittenden County Attorney, Colby Davis and West Kentucky Launchpad, Stuart Haberlock's Preferred Tree and Land, Lone Star Construction, Ellington Detailing, Roy Crane's Tire and Equipment Rental, Johnson's Furniture and Appliance, Jared Champion at JRC Kennels, Megan Roberts, Chiropractic and Wellness, Kenny Locke and Superior Exteriors, R Block of Marion, and Stark's Sports Training.
Welcome, Rocket fans. My name is Trace Darrington. I'm a former Rocket as well, and I'm your host for the Coaches Show. I am joined with Coach Kenny Jackson. I want to thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to talk about Rocket basketball. That is why we're here, of course. So, Kenny, really, a lot of people seen the news of you being our new basketball coach. So, of course, I want to take it back a little bit first. So, you had 8 seasons at Northside Baptist Christian, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And there you was a 1A state champion, and then 2-time runner-up in Class 2A, and then Final Four for 3 years.
That's correct.
So, tell me what that was like to be at Northside Baptist for 8 years, and then you took a break for a little bit, right? So, tell me what that 8 years was like for you.
Well, I just started by accident. My son was playing at the school and just kind of took the role. One of the coaches had had a baby and was sliding out. So I just kind of stepped in and took over. And, the private sector is a lot different than the public sector. I'm coming to realize here soon. And it was just fun. Mm-hmm. I got involved, and then, I loved the game, when I was a kid, and I loved it even after that. But it just started being fun again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you yourself being a former Rocket, you took the years off, and then you get the call that they want to talk to you about being the next Crittenden basketball coach. What was that process for you like?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. My wife saw the post, and she said, "Hey, Crittenden's hiring a coach. What do you think about that?" And I was like, "They would never hire me. I don't have the experience that they need and what they're looking for." And and I applied and then got the call and thought I did pretty well on the interview, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. So when you heard about this job and you seen the past of, okay, these kids, Coach Hodge had a couple good years, and then, our previous coach, there was a couple down years, but, you don't want to just discredit them completely. There are some things, some variables that go into every season that make it challenging. So when you seen that team, they go winless, what made you think that I can come in here and say, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change some of the culture. I'm going to change the record. And I'm going to change the way that these kids believe in Crittenden County basketball.
Well, for the record, I have not watched any film from last year. And I've looked at very few stats. Mm-hmm. I looked at my most important stat is free throws. And,
yes.
Coming down the stretch, if there's going to be some tight games, and we're going to win some games by making free throws. So, as far as the kids, I didn't know any of them coming in. I knew their parents. I knew a few parents, but to me, to be part of Crittenden County, you have to play with all your heart, and it has to be 110% every time you're on the court. So that's what I wanted to bring is lots of energy and instill in them, give your all, and there will be rewards if you give everything you've got. Mm-hmm. And that was the chance that I took.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the big difference in the way that you coach that makes players want to be coached by you or want to play basketball? What kind of, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to say what system do you run. I don't want guys to game plan for you. But who is somebody that you took coaching ideas from that now you're like, I've transformed it into my own.
Yeah, I mean, there's Coach Croft, Jimmy Croft, everybody goes back to him. He's a Hall of Famer. But, you know, just the energy and the excitement and just, you know, again, I'm not that big of a guy, but I have to play with all my heart, you know, and that's what I want to push into these guys. You know, we have some guys that are very athletic, and we have some guys that aren't. So they're just going to have to play with a lot of heart, and that's what I'm trying to push is heart and lots of energy.
Absolutely. And
you'll get rewarded still.
So you're bringing up you're sorry to bring up those guys a little bit. So of course, you know, we want to dive in there. You know, of course, it's only been a couple weeks, so a lot of these kids are new. But I want to talk about, you know, this team a little bit. And what have you seen so far? So far, you've got 3 seniors on the team. You've got Braden Poindexter, you got Jay Stevenson, and Michael Counts. So if you wouldn't mind, just go through those 3 guys starting off and just kind of tell me a little bit what you see and what you expect out of them to bring to this team.
I see, we'll start with Braden Poindexter. He plays hard just from the get-go. He comes in the gym, he's ready to go. You know, in practice, we go from drill to drill, and we'll take water breaks, and I'll say, you know, get you water and then come back, get you a sip and come back. And before I know it, he's standing beside me going, hey, coach, what are we going to do next? You know, he's always wanting to know and wanting to learn and be ahead of the game. Jay Stevenson, he brings a lot of physicality. He's a physical kind of player, as is Braden too. Braden's physical too, but I think Jay's going to be more, and he has a pretty shot. Jay has a pretty shot. It's at the top of his jump and pretty form, and I just think he needs, you know, him coming in here is going to help us both. Yeah, you know, help him and help us. So, and then Michael Counts, he's just he's a lot of heart. He's going to come in and he's going to give us everything he's got, and you know, he hasn't played that I know of in, you know, ever. Other than just pickup games, but he's going to bring the Rodman sense to the team. Yes. He's going to be very powerful down low, and you know, and hopefully we can get him to box out and utilize him as a bigger body.
Absolutely, you know, and I went to one of your practices, and it was enjoyable to see the way that you run your practices. You know, there's no in my opinion, the way I want to call it is there was no wasted motion. You know, there was, you know, you go and get a water, and then you're telling kids that are like shooting on a goal, you're like, no shooting, let's go, we're going to the next drill, let's move on. You know, and I really enjoyed that. And so, looking at this roster right now, you've got 3 seniors and you got 3 juniors. So this is a very young team. So now I want to dive into your juniors, you know, the older part of this group. You've got Logan Martin, Brady Dayberry, and Dalton Murray. So, you know, Logan, I was watching him run the point a little bit. You know, just some of that, some good backcourt for you. So, you know, just dive into those 3 guys a little bit and just tell me what you think.
I mean, Logan has matured over the summer, and you know, I've been here 9 months, 8 months, and Logan I've seen so much change in Logan's basketball IQ. You know, when I first came and noticed Logan, I was thinking, well, he's maybe a 2 guard, you know, he might be able to shoot here and there. But he's come to show that he can be a leader, and you know, and he's matured. He'll put some points on the board too. He's, you know, and pretty good free throw shooter. In some drills, him and Dayberry, they shoot together. They're partners, and you know, they kind of have a competition where we'll shoot 7 shots from each spot, which is 7 spots. So we have to make 49 shots from those spots, and they keep up with on their own, because I don't keep up with it. They keep up with on their own how many shots they've attempted. So it's competitive to them, and that's what I like about those 2 guys is they are competitive, and you know, they're gonna work hard. Dayberry, you know, he tells me last year, and again, I've not watched any film other than maybe scrolling through Huddle, you know, just here and there. But Dayberry tells me he was a 3-point shooter last year. Now he's moved to the 4 spot, and 3 and 4, and possibly 5. in some occasions, but you know, he can attack the rim, and he finishes well. His agility's good, and you know, he can change directions in the air. He can go both hands, you know, lay it up with both hands. I got lots of faith in Dayberry.
Very long. He's a very long athlete.
Long.
Absolutely.
And Dalton Murray comes in and he works hard. He conditioned. He got bummed up there a little bit, banged up, I guess, hurt his ankle about halfway through conditioning and kind of lost a little bit. But you know, Dalton if he keeps his head up, you know, it's his first year playing. Mm-hmm. He's a junior, but it's his first year playing. You know, so he's going to have to work to get into the rotation.
Absolutely.
But it's not saying that he can't, because he can. He's you know, he's fast, and like I said, he's one of those guys the heart guys that I'm talking about. He's, you know, he's going to get in some rotation, but it's going to be, you know, it's going to be hard.
Absolutely.
He does get a little tendency to rush his shot, so we got to work on that. And but man, those three guys that I'm talking about, they just the juniors and the seniors as well. These guys are respectful.
Yeah.
You know, they are yes sir, no sir, and what else could you ask for from a group of guys? And so yeah, it's going to be fun.
Do you think, even though that these kids, you know, this is your first year here with them, and you've got 6 guys that are your upperclassmen, do you think you still see them wanting to learn basketball? Not so much they just want to learn basketball from you just to go through your plays, go through your motions, just play the games, but do you feel like they want to learn more about the game of basketball?
I mean, yeah, I think so, because I mean, you got Braden, that's a senior, and he still comes up to me, like I said, in between water breaks and just says, "Hey, what are we doing next? What do you got for us?" So they'll sneak over to my pad that I've got on the scores table over there, and they're looking at my pad. They're eager to get to the next drill, and they're eager to, you know, find out what this is going to help them at, what drill that's going to, you know, how that's going to help them.
I think a lot of kids just, you know, when they get into a position like this, especially you see it at the college level, like we've got so many people now in college football, they're getting so many new head coaches that there's, you know, let's go through the motions and let's just do whatever, because we don't know how long they're going to stay. But, you know, you're bringing this different kind of energy versus, you know, some of those guys. So now that we've talked about our upperclassmen, now this is a list of younger classmen that you've got, which is, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it as a glass half full or glass half empty. Personally, I look at it as a glass half full because having younger guys is so important,
right,
at any level. So I'll try to help you out the best I can and go through these guys, because you got so many freshmen and sophomores, and then you got an 8th grader, which is phenomenal as well. So starting off, you bring back Jack Porter, Emmett Ellington, Connor Poindexter, Braden Young, Jaden Jones, Junior Cowser. Those are your sophomores right there, and that's a list. And a lot of those were big time contributors last year.
Right.
You know, so I want to leave us with that. Let us think about that for a second. We are going to go to a break. Lady Rockets and Rockets want to thank the following businesses for supporting digital basketball content this season:
Mark Williams and Whitetail Properties.
Re-elect Bart Frazer, County Attorney.
Farmers Bank and Trust.
Nathan Ratley at Marion Recycling.
Livingston Hospital.
H&H Home and Hardware.
Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance.
First United Bank in Marion.
Elect Chad Nelson, Crittenden County Attorney.
Colby Davis in West Kentucky Launchpad.
Stuart Haberlock's Preferred Tree and Land.
Lone Star Construction.
Ellington Detailing.
Roy Crane Tire and Equipment Rental.
Johnson's Furniture and Appliance.
Jared Champion at JRC Kennels.
Megan Roberts, Chiropractic and Wellness.
Kenny Locke and Superior Exteriors.
H&R Block, Marion, Kentucky. And Stark's Sports Training.
Welcome back. We're going to move right along into our underclassmen segment, So you bring back the leading scorer on the team, Drake Young, and he's a sophomore. And then on that list, you've got 4 other sophomores that were in that leading group. So kind of go through, we'll start off with Drake. What do you think of him? What do you think his expectation is? Because, he's averaging 7.8 points per game from last year. Bringing him into this year, how do you see his role?
Well, obviously he's playing the two position. Phenomenal shooter, shoots the ball really well. IQ is off the charts as well. He knows what to do. He knows what a teammate should be doing. He's trying to direct traffic in plays, and in drills as well. He's one that the plays that I have drawn up. I've got these plays that are 10 years old, so they're antique. They're probably not even in the right century. But I drew these plays up for the teams I've had at Northside, and I just cap them. And I have plays that are centered around Drake Young, which will get him lots of shots. We work on screening away, passing the ball and screening away, which sometimes he'll fake and he'll go back door. He's just that kind of guy. His IQ is just so high that he's going to be a very important role to the team behind the arc and layups as well. He moves the ball well, takes care of the ball. He's just an all-around good basketball player.
2 kids that I've seen take a big step from last year into this year, and not so much from the basketball standpoint, for the confidence standpoint. Emmett, Ellington, and Jack Boyd, I've seen both of them take a big stride. So just kind of, I think they're very similar in some things. So just kind of dive into them and what you see for them as players and how their expectations are, because looking outside in, I see them as taking a big step. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
Jack has really matured. Again, I go off what people tell me because I don't watch. I just like to put the past in the past.
Of course.
And I told these guys,
Absolutely.
let's leave the past where it's at, and let's move forward. And Jack is. I don't see Jack as the player he was that I hear that he was. Last year he has matured, and he's starting to attack the rim. Whereas before he would just be a passer. He would just maybe shoot if he was wide open. But now he's taken on the role as he's going to attack the rim and try to finish hard and finish through the contact. Emmett's our 3. He's pretty smart with the basketball. He makes pretty wise decisions. He's starting to shoot the ball phenomenal. I'd like for him to get a little quicker release, but his his shooting has come a long ways, even since I've come along in March or April, whenever the first day I was. But Emmett's going to be a big role player as well. I can't. If I could just get him, his IQ's got to go up just a bit, and he still makes some mental mistakes, and we have several meetings. We have a meeting every day before practice, and I try to tell these guys, your attitude has to reflect how you play.
Absolutely.
We've got to work on that.
Yeah. And to round off your sophomore list, you got Junior Cowser and you got Jaden Jones. So just kind of dive into those guys a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, Junior Cowser has torn his ACL. Just on a typical, planting the foot and cutting back on a drill. And it was, when he first came on the court, he didn't play when I first got there, he didn't play in the spring, he didn't play through the summer, he'd come in later in the summer and the fall. And when he come on the court, I thought, this kid's an athlete. And he's coachable. And I think we can help him. he can help us. And just so fast and strong, his legs are strong, and then this happens. But he was going to play a big part of, you know, the two position, and can jump, man. He can jump out of the gym, to be 5'7", 5'6", 5'7", whatever he is. Just can. He was on the verge of, you know, he'd get the rim easy, but very fast and very good athlete. Jaden Jones, I've had to work with him. You know, he gets in a hurry. He's excited. I mean, he gives all of his effort every time he's on the court and every practice. And you know, we just got to settle him down just a little bit, kind of get him to figure out his role, and he needs to be a facilitator, and he can attack too. He can attack the rim, and again, we got to get him under control and settle him down just a bit.
Now, of course, you don't want to run over time too much. You know, got to be aware of everybody's time watching and everything.
Right.
But want to give them their due diligence. Talk about your freshmen as a whole. And of course, if you want to pick out 1 or 2, 3 of them, that's completely fine with me and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about the freshman class that you've got and how you expect them to be with this team and how you expect them to help this team.
Well, we've got 2 freshmen that I know of that have been here every day from last season, from when I first started in March, April. And, you know, they've come to open gym, they've come to conditioning, they went to summer camps. You know, they've fought hard and they've battled against the upperclassmen. And, you know, I've got the 2 that I'm really partial to. Not that I mean partial in a bad way, but, you know, Caden Hutchison and Roan Top. Those 2 kids have worked hard, and they have earned their right to play varsity time. Whether that's, you know, I put them in 1 minute or if I put them in 18 minutes, they're going to get some time, and especially Roan. Roan has worked himself right up into, you know, the starting position. Man, he works. You talk about maturity. He's went from an 8th grader to maturity level of a junior.
Absolutely.
You know, and plays physical. Doesn't get discouraged when you know, he misses a shot or, you know, something like that. He plays hard and makes good decisions. I like his pump faking ability. You know, he can pump fake and get the defense in the air. You know, he hustles he's a hustler. Roan has worked hard and put in the time since I've been here. Like I say, he's a starter as a freshman.
Awesome, I love that.
But and Caden's working hard too. We had a scrimmage, you know, last week, and they started the game with a technical. Caldwell was dunking during warm-ups, and referees were out there. So anyway, he's my free throw shooter.
Yeah.
So I said before on the bench, I'm like, Caden, you got to go in. You know, you're going to start this game because he hit 29 free throws in a row in practice.
Wow.
And so I said, you're going to be our man. When we need a free throw, somebody gets injured, and we need you to go in. You know, we're putting you in. Yeah. So Caden's, and he plays with a lot of heart, as his dad did too. So
I love how you're instilling so much confidence in him early. You're just, you're telling him, hey, go be the guy. That's okay. I think some coaches don't do that because they are young. So I love how you put that forward. Speaking of instilling confidence in somebody young, y'all are pulling up Cashmires from 8th grade.
Right.
Tell me about the decision to do that, and tell me about how you think, even as an 8th grader, that he's going to improve this team.
Well, Cash is special. Cash is special. He's his IQ is just above and beyond most kids his age that are 8th graders. And I think he's a young 8th grader. I don't think he's, he hasn't been held back or, COVID, wasn't a deal. Cash is very special and smart with a basketball. He's fast, makes very good decisions. He makes good decisions.
Absolutely. I watched him in middle school, and I'm like, he's impressing me as a middle schooler. And I mean, I that decision making you're talking about is what impressed me. I don't see him. I think you see a lot of kids when they're young and they play basketball, they force things.
Right. Fundamentally, he's
Yes.
he's 100% fundamentals. He doesn't try to be fancy. He doesn't, he's a great ball handler, but as far as he doesn't try to be fancy, he just gets down and takes care of business.
Do you think he understands his role this early?
He played in the summer with us,
Yes.
and he's been working with us all summer, and he did conditioning with us, and he understands his role.
Good.
He knows coming in that he's not going to be what he is on the 8th grade squad.
Yeah.
But he also knows as he's coming in, as I've heard through the vine, I'm going to work hard, and I may get that starting position before the season is over. So and it's not inevitable for an 8th grader to come up and get a starting position in the varsity squad. So, I tell these guys every day, none of you guys are my grandkids, or none of you guys are my kids. So I'm going to play who the best 5 are at that time, and it shows in practice. So that's what I want to see.
Awesome. Well, Kenny, I appreciate you coming here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I want to thank everybody for watching. And hey, me and Kenny are not perfect, and I will continue to not be perfect. So thank you for watching, and the shows will get better, I promise. So thank you for everything, and we will see you guys later.
Go Rockets.
Crittenden County Basketball would like to thank these fine sponsors: Mark Williams, Whitetail Properties, Re-elect Bart Frazer, County Attorney, Farmers Bank and Trust, Nathan Ratley at Marion Recycling, Livingston Hospital, H&H Home and Hardware, Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance, First United Bank in Marion, elect Chad Nelson, Crittenden County Attorney, Colby Davis and West Kentucky Launchpad, Stuart Haberlock's Preferred Tree and Land, Lone Star Construction, Ellington Detailing, Roy Crane's Tire and Equipment Rental, Johnson's Furniture and Appliance, Jared Champion at JRC Kennels, Megan Roberts, Chiropractic and Wellness, Kenny Locke and Superior Exteriors, R Block Marion and Starks Sports Training.